Hi, I'm Ines, and the last 4 years have been a crazy ride full of the best experiences of my life so far. I recently completed my master's degree at the UBC Sauder Business School in Vancouver. Before that, I spent 3 years studying for an honours biochemistry degree at King's College London, all the way back in the UK. Now that I've thrown myself out into the corporate world, I figured I would share with you a reflection of my unfiltered university experience from start to finish, which I had documented most of, being the human CCTV camera that my friends like to call me. Let's bring this back to the fall of 2020. In the middle of the global COVID-19 pandemic, I packed as much of my life as I could into 4 suitcases and flew halfway across the world from Hong Kong to London with my mom and a whole lot of hygiene gear in hand. Being the new 18-year-old adult that I was, I felt so ready to finally study overseas and live the university experience I had been dreaming of, which I then realized was definitely not going to be the experience just yet. Arriving in a new country to properly settle down was honestly a pretty intimidating experience. And within the first week, my mom had her iPhone stolen at the Westfield Mall. It was a pretty horrible start to my move, and really warned me about the difference in safety compared to Hong Kong. I definitely bought way too many things and stocked up on way too much food, just in case of COVID lockdowns. Being at this dorm with the social restrictions everywhere, I didn't quite get the typical freshers experience that the UK is known for. Luckily, I found a couple of girls in the building, and we actually decided to start a YouTube channel together. I had always wanted to start a YouTube channel, and with all this extra time on our hands, we decided to film university-related videos. I cooked a lot and did long distance with my high school boyfriend at the time. Oh, I did have classes too, but literally took all of them online from my dorm room to avoid catching COVID, which was kind of a waste of my move there. On the night of Halloween, the UK announced the first lockdown, so I decided to fly home to Hong Kong. I had never been so stressed out about flying before. There were COVID tests before and after landing, and then a 2-week hotel quarantine, which was so awful. I spent the rest of my first year back home in Hong Kong. I remember looking at it as a lot of precious time to spend with my longtime school friends, my boyfriend at the time, my dog of course, and my family. It was really hard to make university friends during this time. With the distance, I ended up drifting from the girls I started the YouTube channel with. The summer after first year, I unfortunately broke up with my high school boyfriend, as I wasn't in the right place to do long distance. It was pretty rough to lose someone, as well as a lot of friends eventually. With COVID restrictions loosening up, but face masks still on, I made my way back to London, ready to settle down for a full year in the city this time round. I moved into a dorm again, closer to Guy's campus, and met a lot of cool people and saw a lot more sights than I did last year. We hosted our first boat party on the River Thames with the Biochemistry Society that we were part of, and that's really where it all began. I met a ton of familiar faces from seeing my classmates on Instagram, which is such a crazy thing to say. We definitely went a little crazy as second years to compensate for the freshers experience we missed out on, going on random pub crawls and club nights. By the next week, the whole lecture theatre was full of nasty coughing from freshers' flu. You know who you are. Somehow, from that one biochemistry boat party, I met my core group of university friends. I felt so lucky to have met the coolest bunch of people who really knew how to have fun. We would often go straight from classes to get food in central London and crash all the nights out that we could go on together. It was so cool getting to know people from all different backgrounds, yet bond so closely. London was truly an amazing place to meet new people, and I made so many friends even across universities. I got to celebrate my 20th birthday at a karaoke room and went clubbing. I felt so grateful to have a room full of people I had only recently met, as well as my old friends from school all in one place. That Christmas, I went to visit Vancouver where my sister was for the first time, and got a white Christmas. I was thinking of applying to UBC for grad school, so it was the perfect opportunity to do so. I spent the rest of the year with my friends in London, doing a lot of coursework, lectures, and playing around. I got to visit Europe for the first time with some friends from home, and we went to Milan. At this point in time, I definitely made some mistakes in my dating life and undermined my self-worth a lot as a 20-year-old. Dating in your early 20s in London was not a great place to be. I definitely settled for less than I deserved to be treated, got told off by my friends, and didn't take their advice as I should have. It was definitely an experience I had to go through to understand the consequences and really learn from. But my friends always had my back. That's when I knew I found some great friends, but just needed some time to figure out the relationship side of my life on my own. Time flew by, and somehow it was already my final year of undergrad. I ultimately made the decision to go for a master's degree in Canada and spent this whole year feeling very bittersweet about having to soon leave this new place I could call home and the friends I could call family. The first semester of this year was especially rough. I worked in the lab every day of the week for my final year research project and dissertation topic. I didn't realize how hard research was till I was there. My cells kept dying and experiments kept failing. I also never felt like I was doing good enough. I knew the research career was not for me, and I needed to get into business school ASAP. To balance that out, I continued to spend a lot of time with friends, met new people, and went to a lot of events and parties and restaurants. I also took on a leadership role as the president of the Biochemistry Society and held so many amazing events and brought so many cool people together. I lived right smack in the center of London this time, by Trafalgar Square. So life was pretty amazing, and I was always so grateful to be there, knowing that my chances of being in this position again in the future would be pretty slim. But I don't think my bank account was very happy with me, as London is an expensive city. While the lab life sucked, I made so many fun memories during this period of time and shared the struggle with my friends. We got our first London snow day, which happened to fall on the night of one of the worst library all-nighters ever, which only happened for all of us leaving our coursework to the last minute. We went to Winter Wonderland, went ice skating, and held a wholesome Secret Santa dinner party with our big group of friends. During this time, I learned that with every bad experience, I could always find the silver lining and turn it into something pretty beautiful. In 2023, I learned to be alone again and prioritize my friendships, knowing that my time in London was slowly slipping away. I also prioritized my well-being and physical health and went to many workout classes across London with my ClassPass subscription. Actually, in the beginning of this year, I tried to pick up vlogging, but eventually it kind of fell through again. I got to travel quite a bit more, going to Paris and Mallorca. I think my lucky girl syndrome really came through when I went on a mission to find the Jonas Brothers in London and not only met them, but got free upgraded tickets to their concert at the Royal Albert Hall, which was a dream come true. The end of our university degree was pretty hard on us, as this was going to be our first time taking final exams in person. In the UK, we don't have midterms and quizzes, just one big final exam in May. So I spent a lot of time at the library and study rooms with friends, cramming exam content. Of course, we celebrated extra hard after exams were over, doing our usual boat parties, campus bar nights, and more. Some friendships were lost by the end of the year, and I reflected hard on what friendship meant to me. Being the crazy university students that we were, my friends and I booked a 9-hour midnight train ride to Lake District straight from our grad ball. We were all about making memories and doing it while we're young, and I don't regret a single second of it. Moving away from friends is hard, but I felt incredibly grateful to have put in the work to cultivate the strong friendships that I knew would continue to thrive even across the globe. On June 20th, my friends frantically helped me pack up my room and sent me to the airport so I could go back home to Hong Kong. It was great to be back in London in July for the grad ceremony where I saw everyone again and officially closed this chapter of my life. Enter my business school era in Vancouver. I began my Master's of Management at UBC Sauder and moved in with my sister. Since I felt a real lack of connection to the real world during my science degree, I was really excited to start business school. Turns out, my class was pretty small, with just about 35 people, all from a very global background. And being a graduate student, I felt like I was too old to do all that freshers mingling and socializing, although I was the youngest in my class. So I essentially stuck to my friends who I saw every single day from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., which was a big contrast from all the socializing I did back in London, but I made some great memories with my classmates. During my master's, I learned to pick up new subjects very quickly, but I love the interactive aspect of business school. I completed over 20 group projects during the program, which taught me a lot about understanding different people, their backgrounds, cultures, and working habits. Business school also helped me understand my strengths and my values, as well as the importance of sticking to your core values to guide you through everything that you do. I came out of this degree with a much better understanding of how the corporate world works. Vancouver is an interesting city. It's not as big and busy as any of the other cities I've lived in, so I had to adapt to this slower lifestyle and appreciate the best part of BC, the outdoors. When it's not raining, of course. Overall, I met some pretty cool people in my course, got closer to my sister from living together again, and even fell in love for a short period of time. The year flew by, and before I knew it, I completed my master's degree, and my university chapter had come to a close. I have grown so much in my university years. I made lifelong friends who may be miles apart from me but can still feel the closest, and I also lost a few friends along the way. I made some mistakes, reflected, and learned from them. I learned to understand who I am, how my experiences have shaped me, and where my values lie. Being away from home for so long, I also grew to appreciate my time with family more as I only see them a few months every year. I know that I'll always look back on my university experience and appreciate the growth, happiness, and learning it has brought me in my early 20s. I can't wait for more growth as I unlock this new chapter of my life. I'm excited for what's to come, and I hope that you'll continue to join me as I navigate my 20s in Canada and around the world. See you soon!